Well, I feel funny with everybody spread around.
We could all just sit at a round table.
That's what I feel like, yeah.
Because Germany was so much better.
That we don't. Because the TVs are on.
Not very many of the department heads here either.
That's what he said.
Oh, is that what it
That's
is?
it.
Yeah, this is it. Everybody's come up with new and exciting excuses on why not to be here. So,
Craig, you need to get more imaginative, creative.
Yeah, but,
Or-
and then all of a sudden.
to join your comrades in their mass exodus. Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, this will be the most fun FYI the whole year, so you can tell everybody how good it was. So with COVID updates, you should have received emails from me last week and this week that have the special COVID update. We're required by the Department of Public Health to send notice to the residents and families of the skilled nursing center within 12 to 24 hours of the identification of a positive case. So I just sent it to everybody, so that you're aware. The cases, the staff, there are 2 staff members currently in the skilled center who appear to have contracted COVID outside of here. Now, they're both vaccinated, because everybody who works here has to be vaccinated. They both appear to have gotten COVID away from the Carlotta, and unfortunately, one of them decided to work while she was not feeling well, but didn't think it was COVID. And by that time, it was, already taking root. So the lesson in that is that if you feel any kind of symptoms at all, and there are a lot of overlapping symptoms that are COVID-related, RSVP, the common cold, the flu, are all symptoms that are similar to one another. And we are not permitting staff to work if they are not well. And, but we don't know that all the time. So that's what that is. In addition to those 2 cases, the 2 CNAs and the 2 patients who are positive at Springs, there were 2 kitchen personnel that work only back of the house, so you would not have been exposed to them. We did rapid testing of the whole kitchen staff, and nobody else has come up positive. So they were identified early on.
Unrelated to the others?
Unrelated, yeah. So, but what we have seen in the last 2 years, and we're all becoming, experts on epidemiology, is that right after Thanksgiving, in the 10 days following Thanksgiving, we see a big spike. And we've seen the big spike among staff, and then we see it among residents. So, and this year they're predicting an even bigger spike than they have in the years past. So we've given all of the staff 4 test kits to take home with them, with a note that says, you're a precious commodity. Please use these tests to safeguard your health, the health of your family, and the health of our residents. So what happens is they get together with their families and everybody else, and they're going, and somebody at the party will be sick, and then they'll be sick. They'll bring it here, and here we go. But the same holds true for all of you. Is if you're going out, gathering, doing things in public, meeting with families, you have to be cautious. You have to be careful. So the bivalent vaccine that was used is preventing people from getting sick, but not preventing them from getting COVID. So, and that's what we're seeing with everybody who's positive, is they're not really sick. You know, they have a fever for a half of a day or whatever, and then they're not presenting with other symptoms. We're seeing other things coming up that we're screening out COVID from that are consistent with flu. So things, upper respiratory type infections. And then we also have seen a little bit of people with younger children at home are having GI issues. The kids are getting GI issues and the parents are getting GI symptoms, so.
Is that definitely a new symptom of COVID?
It's always been a symptom of COVID, but these are not COVID. They're not COVID positive. So there's a new, GI type thing around. Yes, in the back.
Will skilled nursing be shut down tomorrow?
It's not shut down.
Oh, it isn't?
No, it's not shut down. We have, the red zone is open.
Oh,
We've
good.
tested everybody else that's not in the quarantine
So we
zone.
were having Debbie Garber, who's there, her daughter's coming, and we were going through the dining room, so we can still do that then.
Debbie was coming from there to this dining room.
Yes,
You're gonna have to check with them. I don't think they're allowing people to come out.
because they have allowed it before, but,
Not this past week they haven't, have they?
no. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I was asking if it's, okay.
Yeah. No, when you say shut down, I mean, it's like, I'm interpreting to mean the doors are closed, nobody goes in, nobody goes out.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not prudent for anybody from there to come out and especially to go into like the dining room where you could potentially expose many people. But you can go visit.
Pardon?
You can go in and visit,
Oh,
but the patients can't come out right now. The 10-day quarantine period would be through Saturday.
shucks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we have to look out for the wellness of the whole community.
Ron, has it been approved, the accuracy of that quick test as compared to the 3-day COVID test?
They test for different things. And so the at-home tests are testing for the prevalence of antibodies. Is that right? Antigens. So if you've been exposed, you're going to start producing an antigen. So the lab test is tests for a different. The lab test is testing for the virus. It's testing for actual pieces of the virus, or is it the other way?
No, the at-home test is testing for the antigen, which gets produced when you have an infection.
Yeah.
Well, I had them both the same day in this last spring. And the quick test came back negative, but the other test taken at the same hours, exactly at the same time.
Yeah, and
they
that's
were taken both by a caregiver here.
right. So what Craig is saying is absolutely correct. So you could have the virus, but not yet producing the antigen or antibodies that are related to it.
Okay.
So the lab test is testing for the virus. It's looking for the virus. The at-home is testing for your immune response to the virus. And so you could be exposed, have the virus, and for the at-home test, we test every 48 hours. If you have a negative test, you test again in 48 hours. And so it's, we're doing that. And the way that we rule it out with an at-home test is you have 2 tests 48 hours apart. And if the second test is negative, then we determine you're negative.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I finally understand it.
The lab test, the PCR test, which I think stands for polymer chain reaction, basically takes the virus and it replicates it like 1,000 times. It can expand it so it gets a better test matter. In other words, it's a lot more sensitive when they do it in the lab like that.
Thank you.
So most of the testing we do now is the at-home test, the test where you administer them yourself.
But as long as you do it another 24 hours later,
48 hours.
48 hours
Yeah.
later, you would always find out.
Correct. And then that test is actually more sensitive in determining when you could end isolation. If you're positive with a lab test, you're positive for 90 days. You'll continue to test positive for 90 days with the lab test. The other test will, we can use that to determine when we can stop someone's isolation. And so if we test on day 5 and it says it's negative, then we can return somebody back to work at day 7. Our policy is still 10 days, so we just stick with the 10-day-ish thing. But so look at the difference that 2 years has made. 2 years ago at this time, we would have been, our hair's on fire. Ah! Now we're like, well, we had it here, we got it there, it's coming along. So, and that's that's what it's going to be in the future. It's going to be like the flu. When somebody got the flu, we didn't, lock them up and put signs all over their house and door and everything else. So that's where we're moving towards. So there's going to be no one left in Palm Springs after this weekend. The freeway this morning out of Dodge is like bumper to bumper. It's crazy. So, okay. So next up is sales. Ron will be doing sales because Molly's not here. So intro to new residents. I don't see any new residents. So I think Peter's our newest.
Roy.
Where did I get Peter?
Roy
Peterson.
Oh. So Roy, you want to introduce yourself, our newest member?
I will.
I'm getting old, not now.
Okay, fitting right in. The current census is on the books. The current census is 158, but there's actually 154 occupied units. We have 4 units that are dropping off very soon here. So 154 is the number we'll use. 154. 30 occupied in assisted living, and skilled today is at 32. There are what? 1, 2, 3, 4 IL residents in residents at skilled today. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my.
So.
Excuse me, does that 154 include the casitas too?
That includes the casitas. That's units, not people.
Oh, okay.
So there are 154 occupied units, and there are roughly 30 second occupants right now. So about 180, was it? Yeah, about 184 people that are in independent living. Next door at Springs is Mr. Selecki, Pat Raposo, Debbie Garver, and Mrs. Bidding is coming this morning from the hospital.
Barbara Winfield's out.
Barbara is in assisted living now. Yeah.
You said Roger Selecki's coming back from the hospital?
He's in skilled.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
He'd love to have visitors if you want to go visit him.
Yeah.
Just had a shower this morning. He's looking very dapper. The phone system?
No great update. The equipment, I think, as far as I know, most of the equipment has been delivered to our Tucson. At this point, I believe we're waiting on installation dates. We don't have that yet. The thing, and I'll start reminding people in the weekly newsletter that at this point, if you want to keep your Carlotta phone number, in other words, the 760-340 number, you should have switched that over by now. I'm still helping one resident who's run up against brick wall after brick wall, but I haven't had anybody else tell me that they need to switch over, so, but we'll put that in the weekly newsletters over the next couple weeks. But again, at this point, everybody should have switched their number over if they're going to want to keep it. And then further updates when we have a specific installation date and the date that any number that hasn't been switched over goes away permanently.
So the reason it's being given to us right now for the delay in installing LifeLoop and the phone system is that all the technicians who do that type of work are busy in Florida repairing all the damage that was done by the hurricane. So once that is under control, then Spectrum will be freeing up people to come out here and do that type of work.
But they've been telling us that for quite a while.
They've been telling us all kinds of stuff.
Well, trucks may go on strike too, so.
Oh, well, there's that.
And for a number of months, it was just because the equipment, remember I was joking a few months ago that there was a boat in the middle of the ocean? The equipment just hadn't been shipped or hadn't arrived yet. Now we've got the equipment, or most of the equipment, but now we run into the actual people problems, the technician problems, so.
So we're checking on it all the time as soon as it can get in, because the business side of the phone system is really impacted right now without voicemail, without the ability to ring a phone more than 3 times before it goes to busy. It's time. For human resources, that's Ron again.
I have a question for Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Craig, this big crowd might enjoy hearing what you've got to say about that California tax refund that some of us have already received.
Oh, sure. So if, in the next newsletter, we'll have a little bit more information on it, but so a number of months ago, California passed basically a gas tax relief fund, whatever you want to call it. They called it the California Middle Class Tax Relief. So couch it however you want. It's most have already seen it. Who are getting it will have either shown up in their bank account directly, depending upon how they did their tax returns last year, or you may get a very nondescript looking envelope that just, it looks like spam. I mean, it looks like a advertisement, and a poorly done advertisement at that if I would have seen it, and Mrs. Kemner gave me an example of it, I would have thrown it away. I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. That some of you will be getting basically a credit card or a debit card that should have up to $700 in it. And then there's a separate envelope that'll come with instructions on how to set that card up.
Ours was all in one envelope.
Was it all in one? Okay.
All in one.
Okay.
Two pieces of paper in
Oh,
the
okay,
card.
I thought they came separately. Okay, so probably one envelope with instructions on how to set it up. If you have any questions on how to do it, please come see me. But when you get it, it is legitimate, and that's the thing that, Mr.
Looks like
Kemner.
this, it's a debit card
Yeah,
connected to a New York bank. So it's a checking account that you really are getting
yeah,
with a debit card to it. So your best way of doing this is you can buy something for up to the amount that you got on it, or you can go to a ATM, an all-point ATM. Closest one is CVS on Hoadley in Washington, and there's no charge if you use one of those ATMs. If you use another ATM, they're going to charge you for it.
$3.
$3 every time you take anything out, and it's a $300 maximum for it. So for $700, you've got to go back 3 times. 300, 300, 100. Okay? That's what it looks like. The envelope, as Cheryl
Don't
was
throw it
saying,
away.
Yeah.
it's easy to throw away.
And it is legitimate.
It's legit.
It's not a scam or anything.
Did you get one?
For those who qualify, and I would think most people here will
Yeah, most people
qualify.
here should qualify.
Yeah, so, and it's up to $700. You may get less, but it's no more than 700.
Pat, what did you get?
One place
I
it
think I
said
got
that if
3
you want
then.
to, you can tell them that you want them to send you a check.
You can't, does
And I
that,
wondered whether maybe I'd do that, or if I went to my, oh, thank you.
does that have, did
If
it
I went
have,
to my bank, couldn't they just do something to put it into the bank account?
No. I tried that.
okay, yeah, apparently you can't. Were there any instructions in the letter about if you
Yes.
wanted a hard copy check or anything?
No,
No.
can't get a check.
It's
Okay.
in there in the fine print somewhere.
So it's either gonna show up in your bank account automatically, or you're gonna have to use the
If
debit
you
card.
use direct deposit to pay your California state income tax, if you had any tax to pay, and you use electronic filing, you'll get it in your bank.
So if you do see money all of a sudden show up in your bank account for $700,
It's mine.
But these cards do have an expiration date. It is, sometime in the future, but they do have expiration dates.
So when you get it, have fun spending it.
Yeah. It's really.
Spend it on gas.
It's really called the State of California under the Better for Families Act. That's the title Newsom gave to it.
They probably hope that everybody will throw it away accidentally,
Yeah.
and that will save us a lot
A
of money.
lot will be thrown away.
Stay to
Yeah.
get rich.
I almost threw it away, but I kept it, and
Okay, yeah, thanks for
yesterday.
bringing it up.
Okay, human resources. Lori's not here right now because she has 5 people in orientation.
Good.
And one is a cook, one is a server, one is a diet aide. So the diet aides prepare the meals, serve the meals for skilled nursing and handle all that part. A caregiver for AL and a licensed nurse for AL. So again, we're seeing more movement, more people applying. I think the current state of the economy is pushing more people back into work or getting a second job. The exciting news is we have extended offers to 2 dining service directors, and both have accepted. So one is going to start December 13th, and the other will start right after the first of the year. They both come to us with a lot of experience, but their experience complements each other. So one is very adept at the back of the house, food production, kitchen management. The other is very skilled at front of the house and the business side of it. So they're going to be co-directors. So we won't be hiring the chef position, but we'll instead get 2 very qualified people to manage dietary. So I'm very excited about that. And they're very excited about coming. So that's a
And
great
if one
thing.
would leave, the other one could do the other one's job.
Well, we're not calling them an heir and a spare, but but that was in the back of my mind. The December 15th is the associate resident holiday celebration. Doing it again like we did in the courtyard with the taco, tacos and
Taco Man.
and the rest of the celebration. We're gonna the suggestion, yeah,
What day is the 15th?
Thursday.
Thursday the 15th.
Thank you.
We had notes from last year's, afterward to see what it was, and there was a lot of lag time in between the different groups, so we're going to work to try to maybe push them together a little bit more so people are there. The Lori wanted to remind everybody that on the 22nd of December, she's having her LEFSA making WU. I want you all to come and help make LEFSA and try it out. December 8th is the beginning of Hanukkah. And so we'll be doing the menorah lighting each evening throughout. I'm combining community life here too with this. So
Who's going to be leading the Hanukkah?
I talked with Max Stern, and he, or actually Barbara said he's more than qualified to do it. And he went, oh, okay.
And he's an actor anyway.
So he'll help out with that, and then and I think Jay will want to do something. So we'll see. And then the last one on here is Mike Saucedo. Everybody knows Mike from Assisted Living. Today is Mike's last day.
Oh,
Why?
You can go pin him down and find out why, but he's taken a job with the county, and he comes from outside of the area. He'll be working with the county at the Riverside, their Riverside Health organization, which is just about a mile from his home. So that's kind of what he was doing. What he said, he was planning to stay longer, and then as of this morning, he said, today's my last day. So, on we go.
I am so disappointed in him.
Oh, you.
Not as much as I am.
They come and they don't stay.
So, we were looking for somebody when we found him.
Yeah.
We'll find another. The Life Loop, we already talked about it. I think Vanessa's figured out a way to make the television stay on. At least I haven't seen any of them off for the last couple of days.
Yeah, this one's off, but Cece's was on.
Okay. Oh, this one's not on?
No.
Okay. No. It was on when I left at 8 last night, so. Orkin Pest Control. They have been put on notice, and I'm looking at other pest control companies. Truly Nolan is the company that's used by Watermark and the rest of the company. I didn't know that. I thought it was Orkin. So Orkin's been put on notice. I'm not at all happy with how they've handled the recent issues, and since they were put on notice, they've been on it. I'm thinking it's a little too late. Yes?
I have a good report, I think, about the mice coming in my apartment. Nestor found that they were coming through the plumbing pipe near the sink. That's why the first one got in the garbage.
Right.
And he found they chewed a hole like that, and so he repaired it.
Right. Yeah, Nestor told me about that. I was happy he found that. And that is consistent with what Orkin has suspected is happening. They don't think that the pests are coming from outdoors anymore. That initially they might have been, but they don't see evidence of bait stations being, tampered with and things along those lines. And there's
They didn't find it when they first came in.
right.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry.
so they've, Orkin has said, and I haven't heard this from the water district, but they're saying that there's a rodent problem in the sewer systems.
Oh.
And that, they're finding ways, in through plumbing pipes. So,
But the fact that they could chew through this.
yeah, to work at it to find their way in, So they're gonna always, there's always gonna be a problem, they're gonna be here somewhere in a building this size. It's about being on top of it early and getting ahead of it and staying on top of it. So we're looking at a new pest control company just because I'm not happy with it at all. For dining service, we've had a number, I know I haven't responded to Cheryl's email about the volunteers, but we've had a number of people who are ready and willing to volunteer, so we're going to get that going probably next week, maybe?
Start with a little meeting for everyone?
Yes,
Okay.
to go over it. And there's some people who've said they'd be happy to set the tables. There's others that want to check people in. They're all great things that would help,
But there's no food handling,
No food handling, yes,
or wine or water.
correct.
Yeah.
And the reservations, so everybody's made their reservations for tomorrow for Thanksgiving. It looks like it's pretty evenly split between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And so it shouldn't be any big fights over the drumsticks.
There won't be any drumstick problem.
There are
They
drum-
buy the white meat, they never get anything with the.
No, they're whole turkeys. They're
The
whole turkeys.
turkey?
Yeah, they're whole turkeys. They're not going to be carving though, because it's
No.
too labor. They're going to do it. It's a plated dinner. So they'll take your order at the table. You will specify, light or dark meat, and then they'll do it. I've had only 2 requests for the drumstick, so I'll go in there and I'll label the drumsticks today. This one's Joanne's. This one's Al's. The salads are house salad, carrot, raisin, and macaroni. And so the salads and the desserts will be set up like brunch on the buffet, but the rest of the dinner will be plated. Okay? And then the last, yeah,
Do we have pumpkin pie?
I'm sure we do.
To go with my leg.
Let's hope. Yeah, I'm sure there is. And then the other is I haven't finalized the disaster recap stuff from October's drill, putting together the little disaster handbook, things like that. That's going to take me a little bit of time, but that's still on the books. Well, thank you. You've been the most exciting crowd this year.
Thank you.
Is there anything else?
Only 33 days till Christmas, 32.
Any luck on hiring another handyman?
Yes, we have a job offer out to one. He's in the background clearance process right now. And we're still looking for another one.
I just noticed that sometimes if you get a package here, the concierge will maybe call you up, but if you're not there to answer it, that's it. And you don't know anything is there. They don't wait to see if you have an answering machine, and they don't ever call you again. Last time I was 11 days with a drug up there that I didn't know was there. And later on the same month I was 5 days with a big package, and I never would have gotten either one of them if another resident hadn't been up there and saw my name and said, "Oh, I'll take it to them."
They
I
leave
just did
voicemails
not know.
at my house.
But she's saying
They
they're
leave
always doing it.
voicemails at my house.
Well, they never have at mine.
Mine too.
They'll say they couldn't be reached. I mean, that's insane.
Donna never would have let that happen, would
I
she?
told them you have to let it ring 5 times.
I'll make a note and tell them.
I've told them that too, but maybe if you tell them that'll help.
Oh, well, maybe not, but yes. 600 casitas, the lights have been fixed.
Yeah.
It was a photo,
You mean parking lot?
the parking lights, yeah, the landscape parking lights. There was a photo cell that was defective, so they replaced that.
That's
And then, but I mentioned to Nestor about lights that are out and lights at CC's, and he had earlier in the week replaced 30 bulbs around the community inside. So he's on top of it. He's just, I think he exhausted his supply of bulbs. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to meet you.
Thank you.
Yes.